Welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave a 5-star review. I'm joined by Shawn DePause today because Johnny Venerable is
at the zoo? Question mark.
He's making a trek from Maricopa right now. I imagine that drive is a lot like what we see in Mad Max Fury Road.
Are you surprised that I have not seen that movie?
Oh my God, Shawn DePause, we need to take some OGs and watch that movie. That's one of my favorite films of all time. Somebody tried to say it was overrated when they were doing the movie draft, and that blew my mind. Regardless, it's a fun movie, and I hope Johnny makes it safe. There's a scene in it where they're driving in a caravan of sort to attack, and one of the guys, it's so over the top, it's supposed to be over the top, and one of the guys, one of the bad guys is playing a guitar, and every time he strums a note, like fire comes out of the top of the car. It's so sick, and there's speakers all around him. It's one of the coolest movies I've ever seen visually. It's also a good story, but that's not what we're talking about. This is not a movie podcast as much as I'd like it to be. Picks and props for the new Doctor Strange movie would go hard. Maybe we do something like that in the future. But for now, we'll stick to NHL. But before we get there, last night, the Phoenix Suns shut Nick Wright the hell up. My goodness. Fun to watch.
They didn't really shut him. They proved him wrong.
They made him switch his opinion.
Yeah.
So last night, I'm sure everyone that's tuned in has watched the game. A lot of what is being talked about today on Twitter is what happened in that fourth quarter. Luka was getting just attacked defensively. Every time that Chris Paul wanted it, he got it. He got a matchup with Luka and would take him. I did just want to preface this show by saying we've been kind of mean to Luka. And a lot of the anger comes from it's kind of like my hate for Jason Tatum. It's the fan base and people talking about him in the media, how they love how he plays, but in my mind, it doesn't matter. He can have 30 and then 45 all of a sudden, but him getting those extra 15 points was only because of a blowout or whatever. What I don't want to is discredit how great of a player the man is. I mean, offensively, he's probably one of the best in the league, if not the best offensive player in the league from all three levels. What they were saying on the Suns show last night is Luka's probably the best player on the court, but the Suns have the next best 7. So
yeah.
What do you think about that, Shawn?
I disagree that he's the best player on the court. I think Chris Paul is. And I don't think you can be the best player on the court if you're that much of a defensive liability when you get a little tired. So he might be the best offensive player on the court if you want to say that, but all around, I think he's probably like the third best player on the court. I would take Chris Paul and D over him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would take. Well, no, I was gonna say something a little crazy.
Yeah.
But.
I think offensively he is.
Offensively,
all around, probably not, but offensively he is.
Yeah, but he was an absolutely clearly. I was just watching the Sun show before this, and they were breaking down the film on Luka, and in that fourth quarter, he was a complete defensive liability. Like he was clearly tired, and at times didn't even look like he knew what he was doing. So that's why I have a bet in on the Suns to sweep this series, because I think he is going to keep being a defensive liability when he gets a little tired, because he's the only offense this team has, reliable offense. And
I recall a time last week when I made that bet prior to the series starting on the show.
Oh, I honestly didn't remember that.
You were on the show with me, Shawn.
We
both did this. I thought.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's special. That's right.
Yeah, plus 550 were the odds.
Regardless, we both believed that they were going to win or sweep the series, and I am even more confident in that now. Suns only 1-point favorites in Dallas.
Yeah, that's crazy. So tomorrow we're going to be talking to Johnny Avello of the DraftKings Sportsbook app. He's basically an odds maker. He's the chief of operations. Good guy. He's been on the show a couple times. So I want to ask him what goes into that process in the playoffs. Do you get more points for being at home? When somebody gets injured, how many points do you take away? So we'll talk about that with Johnny tomorrow. It's gonna be a good time. So don't miss that every Monday through Friday at noon right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. But yeah, up 2-0, going to Dallas. No extra day of rest, which, I feel bad for the players, but I feel bad for myself as well. I think I need an extra day of rest. Having a nice Thursday and Friday night off would have been phenomenal, but we're back at it. There's literally no extra day of rest in the series, and it's horseshit, Shawn.
I do feel like that benefits the Suns, though. If Luka is still doing all that Luka's doing and he's getting more and more tired, we see what that results in.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it only serves to benefit the Suns. Maybe not Chris Paul, but the Suns in general.
So. Well, Shawn, why don't you go through some of the games tonight in the NHL? I have to re-export one of the props really fast. So why don't you talk about that with the fans for a second?
Okay. The NHL playoffs are fucking electric. They're very good. Do you want to get into my picks?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Shane was making fun of me because I have
I
have all favorite puck lines, but I have reasons for all of them. First off, the Avs, they are the best team in the West. They're playing a bad Nashville team. Well, I mean, they're a playoff team, so you can only say they're so bad, but this is a team that coughed up a 4-goal lead to the Arizona Coyotes in the final game of the season, and then proceeded to lose 7-2 to the Avalanche in game 1. The Avs are going to roll through this series. They're going to sweep the Preds. I only expect that to happen again. The Rangers, obviously that last game against the Avs against the Pens was not very pretty for the Rangers. I mean, it was pretty, but it went to 3 overtimes. The Avs are the Penguins are now on their 3rd string goalie, Louis Domingue. And the first time I ever watched
Coyotes.
Did I say the Coyotes?
Wow. I said shout out the Coyotes, Louis Domingue.
Oh, shout out the Coyotes. Yeah, technically former Coyote Louis Domingue. The first time I ever saw him play in the NHL was when he played the Sabres, gave up 5 goals on 15 shots in the first period.
Love that.
Not a very good NHL goalie. He played a little bit out of his mind after he came into the game in game 1. Don't expect that to happen again.
No spicy pork.
What? Spicy pork?
Brother, really?
Come
back to us. Really? You didn't hear about that?
No.
When he wasn't supposed to play in that game when he came in double overtime, and he ate spicy pork, I think in the second intermission. That's crazy that you didn't know that. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I had spicy pork.
That is funny. Well, I don't think maybe the spicy pork is what fueled him to his performance last time. No spicy pork this time, I'm assuming, and he's going to suck. I just don't think he's that good of a goalie. I think he played a little bit out of his mind. On the other side, the Rangers have a guy named Shesterkin who has played out of his brain and is the only reason that the Rangers are even in the playoffs, I think. As they talked about in the Coyote show, the Rangers are not a good 5-on-5 team. But I think they are going to kind of run up the score on Louis Domingue this time after he's forced to play an entire game of regulation. So I like them. Can we get back to my picks, please? Thank you. The Panthers, again, the highest scoring team in the NHL. I think this is going to be similar to what we saw in the Maple Leafs Lightning series, where the better team I think the Lightning are better than the Leafs. The better team took a second. I think it's Ovi was coming back from an injury, another game where he's getting closer to being Ovechkin. But I don't think it's going to matter all that much. The Panthers, like I said, highest scoring team, and we're going to talk about that more in my props. I think they're going to, again, blow out the Capitals. And then the Flames, another high scoring team. I don't expect another situation where they only put up 1 goal, despite the Stars being such a good goaltending team. But the Stars were not capable of putting up any offense on the Flames, so I think that's going to continue, and the Flames win that game relatively easily, which is why I have all favorites winning by the puck line.
Thanks. I hate it. I also love how you're like, can you pull up my picks? I don't remember what I picked. You picked all favorites, Shawn.
Well, I did. I just wanted to go down them in order.
That's fair. The DraftKings Sportsbook app has many props you can bet on in hockey, and the hockey props are very fun to watch, especially if you're betting on shots on goal, which I may have some. So download it today. Use that promo code PHNX when you sign up at just $5 on any NBA team in the playoffs to win their game, and if they do, you get $150 in free bets. You can add more legs for a bigger payout with their same game parlay feature. And yes, you can do that in the NHL as well. I had one in the NBA last night with Chris Paul over assists and Suns money line. Chris Paul finished with 8. The line was 9.5. So that really stung, but it's okay because you can get your money back if one of your legs doesn't hit if you place the same game parlay with 3 legs or more. If you're not a new customer, but if you are a new customer, as I said, use that promo code PHNX and bet just $5 on any NBA team in the playoffs to win their game. And if they do, you get $150 in free bets this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app using that promo code PHNX, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. That's 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details. Shawn, I was staring at you that entire ad read. Why do you look so dejected right now?
Why do I look so dejected? I'm not. I'm just was letting you do your ad read, and
you were doing one of these.
I zoned out a little bit. Yeah,
that's all right.
Your voice is just very soothing, and it made me want to.
Is it? I don't think it is.
You don't make me explain it. I was just trying to give you a nice little compliment.
I don't think it is. I just disagree.
I mean, it's not.
Okay.
I was trying to be nice.
Cool. Well, so last night with the I do want to apologize. I was defending James Harden. I'm no longer defending James Harden. But I was right in one thing. He is trying. He's trying very hard. And he has been these entire playoffs. He's just not that good anymore, which sucks and hurts for me to say because I'm a big fan of his game. So that's unfortunate, speaking of the NBA playoffs. But let's get off of this. We talked about NBA this entire week. We'll be talking about it again tomorrow. So let's talk some hockey. Here are my picks for tonight's game. As Leah said in the chat, the Avs are free money tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's -165 for -1.5. Still, you throw $16, you win 10, or $16.50, you win 10 rather. Throw $33, you win 20. So do that. I don't see this not hitting. And then the Rangers money line. We talked about this. Big fan. I think I'm not taking their spread, but I'm taking their money line. I think that's also like -150. And then this game's a little gross, or this pick is. The game's going to be fun. We saw the Caps upset and win. What was it, 4-2 in that first game?
4-2, yep.
I think this is a game where the Panthers come out on fire. I think they score 5 goals, but I don't think the Capitals get the production they had in the first game. So I'm taking the under at 7 goals in this game, which is something you see rarely in the NHL. So yeah, I know, Shawn. It's gross.
Not only is that gross, I just don't like it. Fucking Totri. I love how he called us little boys, even though we're both significantly bigger than him. Anyways, I don't like it because they scored four goals last game. Yeah. I agree that I think that the Panthers are going to come out hot, and I could see them scoring 5 goals. Like I said, the highest scoring offense in.
You want to know why I'm doing this?
Okay.
I looked at the betting odds, or I looked at the betting percentage. The public is heavy on the over, and so are you, and so is Leah. This is why I do it, because usually when everyone's on something, it goes the other way, and when everyone tells me I don't like this, I hate it, it's gross.
That's fair. Be your own person, but I think I can see this being a high scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Capitals score 4 goals again, but I think if they do, Florida is going to respond with at least 5. So,
well, I don't think the Capitals are going to score 4 goals.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
That's what I said. That was my reasoning.
Yeah. I could see at 7. I would not be surprised by push there at all.
Yeah. So. You can tease it up on the DraftKings Sportsbook as well to 7.5 to 8. You can get lesser odds, but you can feel a little bit safer. Shawn, I know you have 2 players in your player props that have the same last 5 letters of their last name.
4 letters, I think. Let's see my prop, and we will.
Yeah, 4 letters, 3 letters. That's okay.
Well, they have the same 5 letters, but they're in different orders, I guess. Huberdeau and Gaudreau. Listen, they're basically. I picked both of these players for basically the same reason. Both their teams' leading point getters. Both had, I believe, exactly 115 points in the regular season, and then both were held without a point in the first game of the playoffs. I do not expect that to happen again. Both guys averaging well over a point per game, obviously, during the regular season. like I said, I expect this to be a high-scoring game for Florida. And like I said, Huberdeau had no points in the first game. I think that changes. I could see him getting a goal and assist, maybe even 2 goals. So I like his over on points. And then Gaudreau, anytime goal scorer. Obviously, most of his points were from assists, but still, I think the Flames are going to produce more offensively than they did in that first game where they only had 1 goal at plus 155. I like Gaudreau to score a goal at any point during that game. So I'm here. I'm all aboard the Doe wagon. And I just like, I like it.
I like it too. Shawn, for my next prop, to both our shots on goal props, we'll pull them up right now. Brian Rust is one of them. Over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 118 tonight. Can you guess how many shots he took in the first game against the Rangers?
1.
9.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is fucking juicy. This is one of my favorite props to date. I'm hammering this. And then Kadri, we all know how good he is. We all know how good this Avs team is, and we all know how weird 3.5 shots on goal is for a prop.
Yeah.
But that's why it's plus money. So I'm hammering this as well. I think that the Avs are just it's going to be one of those games where you watch the Avs and you're like, dude, can I breathe? Like it feels like you can't breathe when you're watching the Avalanche game. It's just constant. It's an avalanche. It's the avalanche of offense.
It's literally an avalanche. The Avalanche who split the season series with the Arizona Coyotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arizona Coyotes are giant killers. But no, I love that. I think when you watch the Avalanche in these playoffs, especially against a lesser team like they're playing, they like you watch them and it's like, how did this team not win a Stanley Cup type thing?
Leah brings up a good point. I forgot this game went into what, double or triple overtime?
Yeah, they literally played 2 games. Yeah.
Still, that's a lot of shots. And on the line with Sidney Crosby. So Mark Lange in the chat says Panthers Flames money line parlay. Love it. Be safe.
Yeah, I love
Be safe out there. You're getting some good odds with that, and you don't have to rely on -1.5. You don't have to rely on the puck line. Regardless, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited. NHL Playoffs are my favorite time of the year. If you're not a big hockey person and you're tuning into the show, and you haven't bet on hockey, do it. It's literally like, even if you don't enjoy the sport typically, just watch playoff hockey. There's something so different about it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And use that DraftKings Sportsbook app. Shawn, we got quite the day planned.
We do.
Anything to plug?
I wish we could
plug this. Yeah, we're not plugging this, but do you want to plug your social at least?
My social?
Not your social security number, your social media.
Yeah. Well, usually in this show, I feel like usually on this show you do it for me. So
yeah, but there's no ASU live show today, so I feel like you need to.
Fair enough. You can follow me at Shawn_DePaz. I wasn't prepared for this. Now
not exposing your social security number.
Exposing my social security number as well. No, I probably have done it before, so I can't. No, I can't. Not exposing my social security number as always, and kicking ass in go-karts as always.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef, and you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_bets. Totri with his second account. I don't know how this is happening. Saying take the early odds on ASU to win season opener. In what sport? In the hockey? On hockey?
Football, he says.
Like,
against NAU? I would fucking hope so.
Totri's just typing like a grandma in the chat. We'll see you back here tomorrow. What?
No, I was just gonna say Totri is the king of gross bets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I win though.
He does win, I guess.
I would love to see your total ROI on the year, but that doesn't matter. We'll be back tomorrow at noon with DraftKings Sportsbook member Johnny Avello and the little boy Johnny Venerable will be joining us as well. As always, we're going to be talking NBA, we're going to be talking Suns. It's going to be a good time, so don't miss out on that. If you're just tuning in now, you can rewind or listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star review, and as I said, we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Peace, love, and puck line. Sure.